Good Wednesday morning, South Florida. So glad you're with us. I'm JC Birch.
I'm Eric Yutzi. Right now, Hurricane Idalia is closing in on the Gulf Coast side of our state. Let's take a look at live pictures showing I-275 in Tampa Bay. You see that the camera is shaking and freezing. There is certainly rain on the roads. The impacts of Hurricane Idalia being felt all across that side of Florida.
We have live team coverage this morning, beginning with our Weather Authority meteorologist Julie Durda, who has been tracking the storm for days now, and it is close to making landfall. Right, Jules?
Yeah, we have probably a good hour or so. Right now, the system, JC, is just so large, it's so powerful. And we've been talking about it since yesterday, that the impacts have been felt all across the state of Florida for the last 24 hours, and it will continue to impact the state. I believe we're going to a breaker, so we'll get back to this in just a second. JC, Eric?
Up to 16 feet in some areas of the Big Bend region. That level of storm surge is life-threatening. Do not go outside in the midst of this storm. If it's calm where you are, it may be because you are in the eye of the storm, and those conditions will change very, very quickly. So wherever you are, hunker down and don't take anything for granted here. This is a very, very powerful storm. There will be impacts far beyond the eye wall, and those will extend to places like Tallahassee, as well as places like Northeast Florida. We have already had 11 tornado warnings, and there are more tornadoes possible, even and especially in the very outer bands of the storm. So these are places that are way outside the cone that you see on the TV screen. So please keep in mind those are very, very dangerous situations. When the storm passes, do not drive in flooded streets and assume that all down power lines are still hot and live. And there's going to be people working to remedy that, and we've got a lot of people staged, but that is very hazardous in the immediate aftermath of the storm. We currently have 54,000 households that are out of power throughout the state of Florida, but there have been over 100,000 households that have already been restored through hard work all through the night, and those restoration efforts are ongoing. Any place it's safe to do, people are there working to get that done. As soon as it's safe to do so, when the winds die down to a sufficient level, search and rescue efforts will begin. We have 8 urban search and rescue teams staged, ready to go, 33 ambulance strike teams, 5,500 National Guardsmen. We also have the Coast Guard on standby should that be necessary. There will be an immediate effort to restore power to people who lose power. There's 30,000 plus linemen stationed and ready to go to commence restoration efforts. For local municipalities and electric co-ops, please accept mutual aid. These are folks that can come supplement your efforts. And again, the goal is just to get everybody back online as quickly as possible. There will be a lot of debris from this storm. There's going to be a need to have all hands on deck to be able to do. And accordingly, our Florida Department of Transportation, we have 650 pieces of heavy equipment and trucks staged for cut and toss operations post-storm. We anticipate there to be a lot of debris, a lot of downed trees, a lot of downed power lines, and there's going to be a need for this. We also have 1,100 generators staged for traffic signal restoration. We anticipate that that's going to be a problem in a number of communities as well. Fuel, we have 1.2 million gallons staged. We're also arranging more fuel to come in by truck just to make up for whatever may not be coming in through the normal course of business with things like the Port of Tampa being closed. And so there's a lot of fuel that has been arranged to be here, and our goal is to not have any major fuel interruptions. In terms of communications, there's 500 plus Starlink internets ready for deployment to places that need to be. There's already been almost 250 that have been deployed. So as affected areas need that connectivity, Florida Division of Emergency Management is going to work to provide that. They also have 3,000 generators staged and ready to surge for areas that need some power. Now, if you're using a generator in your personal home, please do not run that generator inside your home. Do not run it inside your garage. It must be run outside your house. It needs to be at least 20 feet away from doors and windows, and you have to point the exhaust away from your home. We do not want to see any fatalities as a result of misuse of generators. So there's a lot of people that are on deck right now. There's going to be a lot of efforts as this storm passes, but this thing is hitting really within the next hour and a half, most likely. It's going to make landfall. It is a major hurricane, as we've been saying it was likely to be for the last couple days, and we just hope everybody stays safe. Don't put your life at risk by doing anything dumb at this point. This thing's powerful. If you're inside, just hunker down until it gets past you. You don't want to be messing around with these winds. There's going to be things flying all over the place. Obviously, if you're in a place that's close to the coast and you see that surge, that's going to be legitimate surge. It's going to be a big deal, and it's going to be very, very dangerous. And there we go with our power here. We're back. So I'm going to have Kevin Guthrie come up. We'll also hear from Major General Haas, Admiral Schofield, and then one of our Leon County Commissioners, Christian Caban, will be here. So Kevin.
All right, you guys have been listening to Governor DeSantis' latest update of what the state is doing to prepare for this system. And we've always said we prepare for the worst and hope for the best. But unfortunately, Mother Nature has taken a turn for the worst with the system, making it a powerful, destructive Category 4 hurricane, making a beeline for the Big Bend area. And as you saw live from his press conference, he's also losing power outage. And I wouldn't be surprised to see more power outages in the hours and days to come. So here's the 6 a.m. advisory, winds of 130 miles per hour. If you're just joining us, the system is now a massive Category 4 hurricane. Hurricane Idalia is spinning over the Big Bend area. Pressure 942 millibars. It's moving to the north-northeast at 17 miles per hour. At least, again, it is continuing to move very fast. We don't want a stalled out Category 4 hurricane anywhere. And we don't want a Category 4 hurricane, but if we're dealing with the impacts, we want it to get out of the U.S. and out of the state of Florida as fast as possible, because the destruction has been occurring since yesterday. Now, the system, again, looks as though half of the eye wall, or at least a quarter of maybe that eye wall, starting to creep closer and closer to coming on shore. Again, we have to wait for the whole eye wall to move on shore before its official landfall. But boy, the worst of the weather right now really occurring over Tallahassee and towards Jacksonville and towards parts of Perry, just north of Horseshoe Beach, over parts of Gainesville, dealing with these outer bands. The forecast projected path, again, has the system moving over northern Florida, staying as a Category 2 hurricane. Listen to my words, by tonight. So we have all day at 6:30 in the morning, and we're talking about a Category 2 hurricane moving into the southern tip of Georgia by tonight. That's how massive and strong this hurricane is. Also, again, the devastating storm surge. We are expecting up to 16 feet in some areas. I just want to give you a little graphic so you understand that normal sea level rise. Here's what typically occurs. Yeah, just a little bit of coastal flooding. And then as we see the sea level rising to about 3 feet, just maybe up to your garage, then we're talking 6 feet up to your windows. And then 12 feet and above, we're talking complete massive damage, where we will be seeing catastrophic conditions for any of the areas that are dealing with that type of a storm surge. And the other thing I wanted to mention is, you heard me say a Category 2 hurricane for southern portions of Georgia. As the system is continuing to move northward, we have hurricane force winds extending out from the center about 90 miles, tropical storm force winds 160 miles from the center. So that's how large this system is. The wind profile extends all the way out to Jacksonville, dealing with tropical storm force winds by tonight, as our friends over southern Georgia dealing with the possibility of hurricane force winds. Then the system takes that turn more towards the Carolinas and off the coastline. Currently, where our reporters are, we have winds gusting in the 30s and 40s, Gainesville, Tallahassee, Tampa 40s, Orlando 30s, and the rain continues to wrap around the center. Again, the worst of the weather obviously over the northern half of the state. And the reason this is so historic is because of the sea surface temperatures that have continued to just fuel for this system to become so powerful. Hurricane force winds expected for much of the northern half of the state for the rest of the day. Damaging winds, power outages, flooding, and again, the catastrophic life-threatening storm surge. Back home here, we're dealing with some of the effects as well, but we'll toss it over to you guys. Get to Christian, see what's going on.